think the time has really come to adjust this gem to E standard and see how it works once I start working on the new material for my upcoming album. I think I have at least one instrumental song that needs a little bit more heavier whammy bar action, and this Ibanez gem is the way to go there as far as what kind of experiments I've done. The Universe 7-string guitar with Floyd Rose is a great option, but it doesn't really do the job the way that I want to do. And also the PRS bridge, it's amazing, but I still need a little bit more wider action with a whammy bar. So changing strings and setting up the guitar to E standard is the way to go today, because my original plan was to make an online course for my current employer, because there's need for a Finnish guitar course about the I'd say the basics of guitar playing. So I'm working on that at the moment as a little side project. But because I forgot to recharge some of the equipment I need for recording that, I decided to work on this guitar instead. So I need to change the strings, probably clean up the fretboard and do a little bit more adjusting. So let's do that and see how this guitar starts working in real action. So when it comes down to gear that I use today, I'm using Ernie Ball regular slinkies, 9-42 set. It's really good one once I have the 25.5-inch scale length. I used 10s for years, but unfortunately it was too much tension to fight against. So I think a set of 9s is a really good one. And I think the 42 at the bottom is enough for me, because this is going to be set up to be in standard tuning. And besides that, I'm using the Dunlop cleaner and prep for cleaning the fretboard, and then the deep conditioner O2. So O1 and O2. And usually I just clean the fretboard and use the deep conditioner if I haven't changed the strings in a while. And I think I changed the strings in 2024, but I don't remember if I cleaned the fretboard. So I think it's good to do it now and see how everything goes. My desk is constantly messy. I don't know when was the last time it was actually clean. So because the desk is in that condition, I'm just, changing the strings while the guitar is on my lap. So that's the way to go, and how I enjoy actually changing the guitar strings. I haven't really liked to work with guitars once they are on a table or something like that. I've tried, but yeah, that's all that I'm going to use. I think it's now time to get rid of the strings and then show the next phase. A time lapse of changing strings is not going to be interesting, so we're going to use a jump instead. So the first part is complete. I got the string set here. I don't know. No, it doesn't. So the first part is now complete. I got the strings off the guitar, and you can see the fretboard probably in some way there, but it definitely needs some kind of oil based on how dirty the guitar strings were. I think it has been years since this fretboard got any oil or cleaning. Probably around I think 2020 in Denmark was the last time I cleaned this fretboard, and since then I haven't really used this guitar at all. So yeah, it's better to really get this ready to action. I feel like I haven't really used this guitar in a long time, and now's the time to use it for the album that is basically about getting back to my roots as well. And also the themes of that album are around like finding my identity again as an artist and musician, and what's meaningful in life. And yeah, so small topics like that are going to be heard. So what I did here as well was that I know this probably sounds really ridiculous, but because the way how Floyd Rose works once changing the strings, each time string gets loosened, the bridge goes a little bit down because of the tension with the springs of the bridge system. So usually what I've seen that people use is some kind of block piece that prevents the bridge going down. So what I did, and I found the solution, was I think some years ago, once I started more investigating about the fretboard or changing strings to Floyd Rose guitar, was that yeah, use a block piece or put a sock or something like that to prevent the moving. So and make the strings change a little bit more faster. So I used the whammy bar a little bit to, you know, lift up the bridge and then put some of the woolen sock there. But as you can see, it's pretty straight here, the bridge. It's not really like bounced back as it should be at this point. So now the cleaning part, I'm starting to find my cloth that I've been using for cleaning, and yeah, then a little montage of cleaning the fretboard, and I think I'm going to do some talking as well. So I found this old cloth that I've been using for years, and of course cleaned it from time to time, so it's not going to get all that dirt within these years of using guitars. So I think one of the I'd say important parts of guitar playing is to actually take good care of the instrument as well. So what I'm doing here is just applying the stuff to this cloth and then just going through all the frets to make sure that it's nice and clean fretboard before applying the cloth or the oil to the fretboard, because because the weather conditions here in Finland can affect how the wood behaves, especially like during the winter. The air gets a lot drier, so that's why it's a good idea to do some kind of guitar maintenance during spraying. Add the oil to the wood, so to make the guitar sing well after that. So I think this is now the preparation of this guitar for upcoming adventures. I've been considering adding the sustainer system to this guitar, just because I'm a huge Steve Vai fan, and I had a Ibanez Gem with a sustainer, but it had some issues with the electronics, so therefore I just decided to sell it and then order a PRS instead, and that's the custom 22 that I've been using for the most time. But this is starting to look pretty sick. I think I have another cloth here, so I'm just taking care of all the dust that this guitar has been gathering since since ages. I think this feels a little bit more dry, so let me add a little bit more and take another look at the last few frets here, the shred frets. But this guitar itself is easily one of my favorite guitars, but because I rotate guitars so much and enjoy just using the PRS guitars nowadays, this guitar haven't been my part of the rotation. One reason also is that it has been in drop C tuning, and I barely play anything in drop C tuning. Some of my songs, or actually most of the alternate tuning songs, are around drop B tuning, so it's a little bit different, but I haven't really felt the need for this guitar to be in that tuning. The only song that I wrote with drop C tuning was Trojan Horse, as you can see as a part of this video as well, which probably was the last actual solo or part or video that I recorded with this guitar being in drop C tuning. But other than that, this is starting to look so much better once it's clean and not so dirty. It's so surprising how dirty these guitars can get by just being on a stand, like getting the dust and all that stuff. But anyways, this is starting to look pretty nice. I like the look of the fretboard right now. So now I just need to apply the deep conditioner, the oil, to the fretboard. So it's just, I think, the similar way of applying. So I use the cloth again, choose a clean spot from the cloth. Someone may think that this is a ridiculous way of doing so, but I think it's better to use just some kind of precaution to make sure that this is going to work well. Okay. I haven't really been taught about the guitar maintenance, so I think that's part of the guitar studies as well. That would be nice to be introduced in order to get to know how to have the instrument in good shape. Because I think it's really important to be able to do the basic maintenance yourself, like changing strings, cleaning the fretboard, cleaning the fretboard, cleaning it, and how to set up the guitar if it's having a certain type of bridge, how to do the intonation, or is it something that you should use the professional luthier to take care of, or when you should use a professional luthier to set it up. Because I remember that, like, once I was really getting into guitar playing, I didn't know much about maintenance, so I took this guitar to Helsinki, which is like 2 or 3 hour drive from central Finland. I took it there to be set up, and I think I took twice or 3 times this guitar to a local dealer here in Jyväskylä just to have the, I think, pickup selector or volume pot or input jack to change that. So the electronic work is something that I don't really think that anyone should be able to automatically do or have the interest, but just doing the basic maintenance, it's important and should be taught in, I think, in music education in general. So yeah, now the fretboard is oiled. I don't know if you can see it. It's really like, I don't know what's the right word. It's, you can see that it reflects, it's shiny in a way, but, you can probably see it in a way it's really shiny. So now I'm just adding the strings one by one and then start tuning this up to E standard. So now I'm changing the B string, which is 0.11, and I noticed this is somehow having this like I don't know if the camera can really focus on the right, but I don't know if you can see, but it's not really like, I don't know if this is a corrosion or something. As you can see, it's not evenly like metallic, and it feels like dirt or something. So I don't know if I got a defect string set, which would suck for sure. But I think I have another string set where I can take those higher strings. I'm not going to change a defect string. There was something else with the G string, but I'll see what happens with that one. I'll try to clean it as well to see what's going on with that one. I mean, this I bought this string set like yeah, this one I got the same thing. Oh, damn. Okay, what do I need to do? Yeah, I just break another set of 9s. That's all. Because I don't see a reason why I would then break a set of the sets I actually use with my PRS guitars. So I really wish that those strings work. Even though this package claims that they are watertight packaging. I don't know if then temperature change can do that, but I highly doubt it. Damn. Just, yeah, let's wish for the best for the rest of the sets or strings. Yeah. Okay, I think I just found another set of 9s, or yeah, a set of 9s, but the 11, the right string gauge for the B string. So this seems to be okay. So I'm really lucky that this happened here at home while I'm changing the strings and preparing the guitar for being set up for my own recording, instead of like changing the string set just once this is like as a backup guitar, or having a really short time and have to rely on this guitar. Because I've been in those situations where I had just that one string set or a backup guitar that I wasn't sure how it's going to handle through that gig. So therefore I always want to make sure that the guitar that I'm using is always in the best possible condition, especially if it's like a backup guitar. So this is like a lucky shot here. But again, this guitar has been, once I graduated from, this guitar has been in drop C since I started working on Children of Bodom covers, and that was since Alexi Laiho died, and I started to work on those covers to honor his work in the metal guitar and Finnish metal scene. Before that, I think the last time I actually used this guitar seriously was for my master's concert and for practicing the song Lost, which is heavily depending on 24 fret guitar. So I didn't have a spare 7-string guitar for that in Denmark, so I had to borrow my Universe for the rhythm guitar player, which was fine. I can play the song with a 6-string guitar. It's not that much depending on the 7-string guitar. So yeah, other than that, this is almost ready to be set up. And as you can hear, it's not really in tune. I just tightened in a way that the strings set up nicely. And then I think I'm going to then tighten up the strings, and of course I haven't even like cut the strings yet, so or the other end of the strings. So yeah, soon I'm ready. Yeah, this is, I know that I'm starting to remember why I hate setting up Floyd Rose guitars. So I'd say the next part of this setting up process is to tune each string and make sure that they are like to do enough stretching to each one. So I'm just trying to get each string to target note. Okay, E is kind of like E in E flat right now. So doing the stretching through the whole like fretboard area, make sure that the guitar then starts to stay in tune when you're starting to actually bend strings, especially with the whammy bar. There's the stretching part of the strings and then adjusting the springs, so that takes a while to set up because there's a little bit more work to be done to make sure that the guitar stays in tune. After tightening up the strings, that you can see that it's a little bit higher. You know, it's not straight with the body. As you can see, it's a little bit upwards. So I think the next step would be just adjusting the springs a little bit, and after that this will be ready to shredding, because as you can hear, it's pretty much in tune. So only just adjusting the springs is the next step, and then I'm ready to start shredding with this one. Of course, there's still the deep conditioner on the fretboard, so I'm giving it a little bit more time to dry, and then I think this is ready for being played. So after a few rounds of adjusting, it seems that it's quite even now. I know the focus is on my head, but there you can see it's really even. There's not a lot of angle there, so I think it's now ready to shredding. So if I just do a little bit of tightening up those locks, I think we should be able to do some crazy action. And if the stars are in the right position and everything is working as expected, I should be able to have a pretty nice tone, and this should be ready to like really rocking. Of course, I need to do a little bit of fine tuning here, not a lot. Yeah, it's pretty much in tune. I think this is the most exciting part, to see if this stays in tune at all, because the springs may be also affecting. Let's see. I think I should get now some guitar. There should be some signal coming in, but of course I don't have. Okay. this is the most intense thing to do. Yeah, this is amazing. Okay, so it's set up fairly quickly. What I did here was I did the stretching thing, like across the fretboard with one string, tune it up to the note, and then switch to the next one, and have to redo that multiple times. And that was kind of it. So I think I'm going to then end this video here. If you have any questions about what I did or forgot to mention about setting up this guitar, just let me know. The strings, what I did here was I just tightened up these 2 screws that are attached to the spring system here. So tightening up was the solution, because once it adds more tension to those springs, then I have to loosen up the strings a little bit, and then the bridge set up pretty nicely. So I already have this shred action on this guitar, so I'm already getting excited to finish the next single with this guitar, or those few solos that require a little bit of this like type of things. So yeah, stay tuned for the last episode of getting this back to shredding series, where I'm actually working on the solo. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah, check out ending shredding with this guitar, and subscribe for more content, and see you on the next one. Bye.